Merry Christmas from the Financial Logistician. I'm your host, All Nighter Hider, and welcome to this now fourth episode of Simon Says. I don't remember what the video title was because I'm just winging it. But Simon was going into, I'll have the video linked in the description. Simon was going into how the Fed is operating and explaining their credible threat. So, essentially what he's doing is, and again, this is not what Simon is actually saying. This is what I am saying about what he has said. So this is my interpretation. That's why you're here to hear my bullshit. So the Fed is essentially, they've shifted from a mathematical operation where they're actually using interest rates and the math and the numbers to operate the monetary policy that they're conducting. Would you not bite me, please? She's having fun this Christmas morning. So they were using math before the GFC, before they got to the zero lower bound, right? So they have the Fed funds rate. They lowered it all the way to zero, basically. I think it was at 25 basis points. So 0.25%. Basically at zero. So they had limited themselves mathematically to what they can conduct as far as monetary policy. They were at zero. If they had lowered it any more, then they would be at negative rates, meaning that people would pay the bank to put their money in there. Make a deposit of $100 and you can withdraw 97 or something. Something crazy. So they had to shift, right? They were out of policy. They were out of room. So I feel like I have to sneeze. It's going to go away, unfortunately. That sucks. They had to shift. What did they shift to? Well, they shifted to psychology. I think they knew this all along. Psychology is nothing new. But they knew that they were out of mathematical ability to do anything, so they shift to psychology. Literally the credible threat. So they start using their words to manipulate people's spending, essentially. Now, how do they do this? Because I see this in the comments all the time, like, how does the Fed control people's spending? Well, they don't directly do it. They use the media. So it's a game of telephone. The Fed says whatever they say. The media picks up on that, kind of shifts it around a little bit, manipulates it, and then feeds it out to the people. And the people have their biases. They hear what the media has said that's already kind of screwed up, not going to the source. So they're hearing this filtered information, and they're getting it through a bias, and it's just, come on. Not getting good information that way. So, but that's the way it works. That is the psychology. It's filtered in a way that benefits the Fed, if you would, and their monetary policy. Hi, Kitty. You can walk right in front. Thanks. Awesome. Yeah, she's got the zoomies, and she didn't poop. It's not post-poop zoomies like we have in the chat at Simon's live streams. So yeah, they shifted to psychology. That's what they use now. They have no other means. One of my thoughts too was that mathematically they're limited, right? They're limited to that universal language of math and the numbers. But using psychology, that's where they're almost unlimited. It's whatever the people will swallow, that's what they can get away with. And especially without knowledge, the people will swallow a lot. That's why we're here. That's why we, Simon, and I include myself, just in case somebody watches this that's new. That's why we make these videos, to inform people that, hey, the Fed, they do kind of know what they're doing. They were reactionary. When I first started learning this stuff 5 years ago, I was always under the impression that the Fed was very reactionary. And to a degree they were. That piece of dust floating by, I tend to do that. I'm going to rabbit trail for just a second. I tend to just blow at things out of like nowhere. It's because it's a piece of dust that I see, and I don't want it coming near me. I don't want to breathe it in. But yeah, it's very random, and people have pointed it out. It's funny. So I pointed it out. Where was I? Oh man, I lost all train of thought. I'm almost there. Oh shit, I lost it. Completely lost it. Oh man. And I'm not editing this out. Something about 2008. They were doing psychology. Oh yeah. So it's as much as the people will swallow. The Fed was reactionary. There we go. See, you can kind of see that it's working on here. The Fed was reactionary. Now they're more proactive. So they're actually steering into the turn, if you would. That's how I see what Simon says. He's always talking about, and I love it because I'm a firearms guy, but he's always talking about aiming above the target, right? If you got the rings of a bullseye, they're aiming at like you got the A zone, the B zone, the C zone. Well, they're aiming at like the C zone, compensating for the ballistic drop, if you would. So the bullet's gonna arch, right? It's gonna boop. So they're aiming at the C, anticipating it hitting the A. Essentially, that's them steering into the turn. So they're proactively trying to use their psychology to get people to think, okay, well, inflation's coming. Here it comes. That's going to get them to spend. Why hold on to dollars if inflation is coming? That means the ice cube is melting faster. So get it out there. Get what you need. That's going to hopefully retain its value more so than the dollar. So that's what they do. Let me take a drink real quick. Like the first time I drank coffee. Wow. Yeah, that's Mama's mug. I love those big mugs. Wow, lost all train of thought again. Fed is proactive now, though. They are steering into the turn. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it, because I'm starting to lose it. Merry Christmas. Thank you for watching this fourth installment of Simon Says. I will get better at these. I took no notes. Just go for it. We're almost at 8 minutes. Once again, Merry Christmas, and invest accordingly.